You say I make you nervous, a tragedy, I'm a beautiful disaster, a reckoning, you wonder how I got this way.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. First, let me introduce myself. My name is Yusuf Arifuddin Nugroho. My student ID number is 2006011111015. I'm from the Faculty of Science and Technology. I'm from Math Class D. This time, I will explain about science integration with Maulana Malik Ibrahim Malang. Okay, now we enter the main discussion. The integration model of science and Islam at the State Islamic University of Maulana Malik Ibrahim Malang divided into three parts, that is, first, basic concept about campus and Islamic boarding school integration. Second, integration of science and Islam with a symbiotic mutualism model. Third, the integration model of science and Islam in Maulana Malik Ibrahim State Islamic University of Malang. The model of integration of science and Islam developed at UIN Malang is a model of a dyadic. In Berber's typology, this model is synonymous with integration relation. The integration model in question is that the integration of science and Islam can provide greater and broader opportunities for the development of science, because so far people think that knowledge is only obtained through experimentation, observation, and other scientific approaches. But with the integration of science and Islam, it turns out that the source knowledge can also be obtained from the Quran and Hadith. And finally, with the integration of science and Islam, PTI's goal can be realized, namely to create professional intellectual students who are scholars or scholars who are professional intellectual. First, the monadic model. Popular among religious fundamentalists or secular fundamentalists, religious fundamentalists state that religion is the whole which contains all branches of culture. Meanwhile, secular fundamentalists consider religion as a branch of culture. Second, the model is the dyadic. This model has several variants. The first said that science and religion are two equal truths. Science talk about natural fact, while religions talk about divine value. Third, the triadic model. In this triadic model, there is a third element, the bridge science and religion. This model is also called the complementary triadic. This model is an extension of the dyadic model by including philosophy as a third component that lies between science and religions. Mutualism. The implementation of integration between science and Islam means that all non-religious lecturers must integrate the knowledge they teach with Islam. There are three forms of implementing science integration that have been carried out by lecturers. Namely, the first, associating material with Islamic studies, or both Quranic verses, hadith, as well as the opinions of Muslim scholars or scholars. Linking material according to the verses of the Quran and hadith in accordance with the ideals of Muslim scientists, namely applying the Islamization of knowledge. The Islamization of knowledge means Islamization or purifying non-Muslim or Western product science, which has been developed and used as a reference in the discourse of developing Islamic education system in order to obtain knowledge that is uniquely Islamic. The science development model in Islamic perspective can use several patterns, namely A. Pragmatic pattern, B. Idealization pattern, C. Critical concept or theory pattern, and D. reconstruction pattern. And second, linking Islamic studies with science or majors of interest students. Linking Islamic studies with student science or majors is carried out in Islamic subjects, such as the study of the Quran, studies of Hadith, studies of fiqh, Islamic theology, Sufism, and the history of Islamic civilization. In general, the syllabus is the same for all majors, but the development is according to each department. In addition to mastering the field of science, they teach lectures in Islamic subject, also integrate the material with the students' scientific background or majors. And the third, integration on the object of study. In integrating linguistic courses such as Arabic, English, and Indonesian or Bahasa, the materials are about Islam, noble morals, and anything that contains Islamic values. So, the discussion remains the four things, namely reading, writing, speaking, and listening skills. But the examples or material discussed in lectures contain Islamic value. Thus, this Arabic and English course is expected to be a capital for students to study literature in Arabic and English, thus helping their academic process. This is explained by Muhaimin that the integration of science and Islam can be also be done by making Islamic teachings and values as guidelines and source of consultation for the development of general course, whose operations can be developed by incorporating noble morals value into the course. Islamic boarding school system at UIN Maulana Malik Ibrahim Malang. UIN Maulana Malik Ibrahim Malang, as an Islamic university, has a mission to prepare prospective graduates who are able to integrate the personalities of scholars who are professional intellectuals or professional intellectuals who are scholars according to their field of study or expertise, which is manifested in the life of society, nation, and state in the midst of an increasingly global life. In this case, the Islamic boarding school of UIN Maulana Malik Ibrahim Malang function as first, Center for Student Personality Development and Development. Second, developing the habit of speaking Arabic and English. Third, development of Islamic talents and interests. And the last, the Center for the remediation of religious knowledge and practice, such as habituation of prayer in congregation, reading the Quran, studying Islamic thought, and so on. The activities and programs of the Pesantren are as follows. First, Ta'lim Al-Quran. Ta'lim Al-Quran, this consists of providing material or knowledge about the Quran, then practicing or implementing it in the activities of Tasih Al-Quran and recitation of the Al-Quran. Second, Ta'lim Al-Afkar. Ta'lim, this is held twice a week for 2 semesters, followed by all students in each residential unit and cared for directly by the caregivers using the Bandongan and Sorogan methods. The guide book that was studied was Al-Tazib, containing fiqh. The achievement of this ta'lim is that each of them is able to mention the law of certain activities or obligation by including the arguments or normative basis, both the Quran and Al-Hadith. And third, increase the linguistic competence. In an effort to increase linguistic competence in both Arabic and English, there are several things that are done at the Pesantren. That is the first, Skubah al-Lugah. Second, creation of a language environment. Third, language consulting service. Fourth, Al-Yawm al-Arabi. Fifth, Al-Muhasabah al-Arabiyah. Sixth, English Day. And the last, English contest. This is the picture of Tree of Science at the State Islamic University of Maulana Malik Ibrahim Malang. Thank you guys for watching my videos, and I do apologize for my mistake. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.